I think I've made a mistake, and I think it's the same mistake that I make every time I distinguish between the supremacy of reason and reason. Like I like reason. Like I'm not against the Enlightenment or whatever,
Sure.
as much as I may joke about it or whatever. But I've just noticed that there are a lot of things with the Enlightenment that just a lot of presuppositions. Well, not a lot, but sort of a few important ones that just kind of aren't true. And I've also sort of noticed that there's like this proclivity. Like when I say the supremacy of when I say like I think the supremacy of reason is in and of itself unreasonable. Yeah, I guess is what a more accurate way of explaining that. And then like a prime example would be trying to debunk the concept of morality while you're having a conversation about the morality of a thing. That's you
Right.
know because the
Yeah.
thing is, you can reason your way to, well, if morality doesn't exist, so then why should ethics exist? Does ethics exist?
Yeah.
Why can't I just stab you? Right? There's no reason for me to value your life if I value my life more than yours, which is something I almost did. There's something but that kind of scared me a little bit once
Yeah.
I figured it out. Figured out what it was. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is I didn't I'll just say it for what it is. I think adhering to the Enlightenment at the level that I did enlightened me to the point where I was as I've already said before, I guess, abstracting myself and separating myself from my morals, which I now know in valuing the parochial, that is a stupid thing to do. And I've just sort of noticed that, like, not this belief, but this ethos just permeates everything wrong. Like, another prime example. During the Soviet Union, basically they were doing all they were from a socialist perspective. You could see that the Soviet Union, while it was in the sort of regime change phase, was a success. But the problem is there was still bourgeois capitalist, whatever, and they sort of realized, well, hang on, the farmers have property. They have a scythe to harvest crops. They have cattle that they raise and milk or whatever to give to people or whatever. And then the geniuses who were so big brain they sound dumb dumb, and they were in the supremacy of reason. They were like, see, those working class farmers, they're actually rich. We're going to call them kulaks, and kulaks deserve to go to Siberia along with the oppressive capitalist, along with the people who perpetuate the capitalist hegemony. And like they kept going, and in China it was even worse. They kept going until the point where they were like, "Oh, see, we can't actually abolish property because people have food in their stomach." Right? And then you had people, and like it got to a point where people were literally making themselves bulimic for Mao, you know? and it and like it just kind of kept going. And well, I believe that, like, long story short, I've covered this on the show report. I've covered like why or whatever, so I'm not going to get into it in too much detail right now. But I think abortion is wrong. I think after the heartbeats developed, it's akin to murder. So if you take a look at so if you take that perspective, that abortion after this period is akin to murder or just murder, then you sort of arrive at the conclusion: U.S.
You're cutting up.
genocide in human history. What?
You're cutting up.
Oh, sorry. Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you take abortion into account, what you've and like the amount of people that have died from abortion, right? And so it, I guess, long story short, like abortion, 60 million people or whatever, plus last time I looked at the number, right? The Holocaust, 6 million. So like if you consider abortion murder, then that means that the US, with our enlightened values, our enlightened views of what it means to be free, has killed 10 times more people than the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you have the people who are engaging in the supremacy of reason, right? The socialists and the famines and the other concentration camps. And so it's just sort of one of those things where the Enlightenment is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of millions of people unnecessarily. And it's just one of those things where it just depends on which enlightened country that you currently live in at the time is just the specific atrocities that you justify. Like in the US, we're like, oh, the Soviet Union, terrible. Communist China, terrible. Hitler's regime, Italian fascism, all terrible, all terrible. And then but our thing, our abortions, no, that's just, those babies aren't really human. So it's okay to murder them en masse with mass industrialization and create an entire economy on the murdering of babies, kind of thing. We could have entire institutions dedicated to making sure that people know that the right decision that you can make for yourself is to murder your baby. And perhaps it's a bit hyperbolic, but like all of this death just has the Enlightenment in common, where I guess semi facetiously, what the Enlightenment, uh and like, not like Locke, and I guess to a certain extent Hobbes, they're the sane ones. But it just seems like, for everyone besides them, what freedom has become to mean in this post Enlightenment era is essentially the freedom from being told no. And this freedom from being told no is just manifesting into a bunch of deaths for no reason.
Yeah. Without any principles, without any value for life. Yeah.
But
I
a lot of
completely agree.
reason.